Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. All kinds of cattywampus this morning. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing great. Good morning, friends. Hello, hello. Having a great day today. Good morning, Yvette. How are you? You're here. Hello, friends. Hello, hello. Good morning, one and all. Hope the day is treating you well. It's been a sprint this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. We've had a great morning with some laundry love folks and some lasagna love folks. We got all kinds of love going on this morning. Hope you are doing well too. Good morning, Vicki. Hello. You doing all right? Good morning, friends. Hey, friends, hello. Hey, Karen, good morning. On this beautiful, drippy day, that it is getting 36 degrees with the sun shining, and everything has gone wet and drippy today. Hope everyone is doing okay in that and not discovering too many leaks in the roof. So, all right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. So, let's get going this morning. It is the 11th day of February on this 11/11 Wednesday. I hope that wherever you find yourself and however you find yourself, you are filled with joy, and that you know that you are a part of something greater than yourself. That this today is the February the 11th, as I just said, and part of it being February 11th is that it is the traditional feast day within the Episcopal churches of Saint Bernadette. Today is the day that we celebrate the appearance of Mary at Lourdes to Bernadette. Now, you might be a big Mary person, you might not be a big Mary person. I don't want to get into all that, but it is simply. Last year I had the opportunity to go to Lourdes and participate in the pilgrimage there to the grotto. So the story is this: that young Bernadette, very poor, with her sisters and a few other girls, were out looking for firewood, and they came across this this grotto, which is basically what was the town dump. And so they were looking for firewood near the dump, and in doing so, Bernadette had an appearance in the middle of all of this junk of the lady in white, as she would call her. And so the appearance would happen for I think 18 more times over the course of that year, and it would lead to all of an incredible healing ministry of Lourdes. That there are now well over 70 people that have been miraculously healed, that have documented in their miraculous healing on that site, and there have been quite literally thousands of others who have claimed healing as a result of it. But really, all of that begins with this young French girl, quite illiterate, quite simple, if we would call it that. She was not the head of her class. She was in confirmation, and she in confirmation class at the time, and she was not doing well. And everybody kind of knew it. And yet she had a purity of heart and a desire simply to love God that seemed to open something up in the place that was and that is now Lord's. Um, and so this, one of the things you need to know about that is just the context of it. The mid 19th century was this incredible time of scientist and scientific, um, not just discovery, but real belief that the old superstitions were dying away, the old spirits were dying away. That really we were coming into a modern age as America, or as not as a world, not just America, but in France, that as the world, they had gone through the French Revolution, which is this kind of they really considered it, many people, as kind of a throwing off of old regimes and old oppressions of whether it was the church or whether it was uh, the monarchy. But in all of it, there there was and there was this way in which that the world of spirit really has nothing to offer us anymore, and that really we can figure this all out. And so when these miracles started to happen, when these profound healings started to happen, that they were, and the fact that the medical professionals couldn't document them, it became really acrimonious. There was a great conflict that began to build in and around this, and for that reason, that Bernadette, in all of her simplicity, actually was examined in a way that I think maybe few other saints were. That not just in the sense of the claims of what she was encountering, but the rigor by which they were questioning her. They literally would question her testimony of the apparitions for years. This would go on. In the midst of all of this, Bernadette's real that Bernadette would come to she would come to take vows, and she would come to actually die very young of quite horrible and painful cancer. This that there's almost no kind of sweet spot in Bernadette's life that we can really point to. It's not she married the boy and went off and was happy, or that it was in many ways her encounter with Mary made her life in many ways quite difficult. Yet in all of it, and the movie captures this well. Yet in all of it, she is unquestionably, by everybody who reports it, including her family, including all those who knew her, with this incredibly generous spirit of love. That not just talking about the beauty of Mary and all of that, but talking about the love of God, and the love of God that she encountered, and the way in which the love of Christ Jesus in the apparition of Mary was there to help and to tend and to beautify and to heal the world. When John writes his letters, so John, the guy from the Gospel of John and from Revelation, well, he writes a small series of letters, and in these small series of letters, there's really this boiling down of what he really believes is the core part of his kind of long and arduous Gospels, and even more arcane and bizarre confessions in the book of Revelation. But in 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, these few page letters that he writes are a distillation of what he considers the most important and most beautiful parts of his witness of the gospel of Jesus Christ, and the time that John, who many of us, many scholars say John is the one that Jesus loved most, that the guy who's closest to Jesus, he says, and in his letter, in his distillation of all that he encountered, he writes this: "We love because he first loved us. Whoever claims to love God yet hates brother or sister is a liar. And for whoever does not love their brother or their sister whom they have seen cannot love God, whom they have not seen. And he has given us this command: anyone who loves God must also love their brother and sister." When we talk about the miraculous things around Bernadette, and however you understand this, if you understand this as old folk tale, if you understand this as true miracle, however you hold this, what cannot be denied in all of this is the simple and profound reality of Bernadette, who understood she was first loved by God and thus loved the whole world in it. This, I think, in many ways, of the whole story of, apparitions of Mary, great; spontaneous healings, great. I mean, they're wonderful and testaments, but they're all downstream of this attitude of this simple farm girl, of this open heart that she had, this fiery open heart that simply understood she was loved by God, and that in that sought to love the world around her, sought to bring kindness to the people in her midst, sought to bring understanding in the midst of when she was being interrogated, quite literally, for years by church authorities, by all of her journeying, all of it. There is this purity of spirit in which she embodied, and to me, that's the real ignition point. That's the real point where she came to understand, and not just understand. It's not a cognitive thing, but it was as Jesus invites us to, a different way of being, and that she, as this young girl, simply managed to be captured into that different way of being, and that when she did, the whole world began to change. Cathedrals were built as a result of her different way of seeing the world, of her understanding that she was first loved by God, and so could love downstream in a way that was pure and good and right and true. Now, I get it. Young people can do things that older people. We all get older and jaded. We get moss growing up our legs. We get attitudes. We get hurt. We get all these things. Yet I still contend with you that without Bernadette's really profound heart, we probably don't get the profound miracles. Without Bernadette's embodying of God's first love for her, we don't really get God's love for all the world that would pour through that, from the apparition of Mary and Lourdes, from the healing waters that would result, from all of the things that would come downstream from that. And so that's where I want to land us today, and what I want to remind you of is that whatever jadedness may be in your heart, whatever misunderstandings you might have with brothers and sisters in your journey, whatever troubles you might be facing, whatever difficulties might be in the way of you accessing that ultimate reality of being first loved by God. That if I have said this before, I will say it again, that if you were the only person that ever existed, all of this would have been brought into being, and all the Christ would have gone to the cross, and the death would have been overcome, and all would have been made right just for you alone. That is the power of God's love for you, and that's not notional. It's not an idea. It is a lived reality that he invites us to inhabit, so that we can love because he first loved us. And if we wonder, what good would that do? We need only look at Bernadette and this day of her feast day and see the healings and the apparitions and the songs that have been written, and the stories that have been told, and the cathedrals that have been built for the love and majesty of God that have flowed through that one simple girl who understand she was first loved. My hope for all of you is that you might step into such understanding that way today too. Peace and grace to you, my friends. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Just a reminder tonight is our visioning dinner. If you have any interest in our missions programs, it's been a full missions day already. We've been out doing laundry love. We've been out doing lasagna love. We've got more missions going on. If anybody's interested in mission stuff, 5:30 today at church. Come on by. We're gonna have a little dinner, and we're gonna talk about the way ahead, the things that God is calling our church to be a part of and to do. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone. Let's see who's here. Hey, Linda, how are you? Great to see you here. Karen, good morning. John, glad you're here. Marianne, everybody. Hello, hello. Vicky, so nice. Good to see you. Fannie Faye Davis, how are you? Great. Glad you're here. Peace and grace upon your heart. Good to see everybody. All right. Peace and grace, everyone. And we'll pick it up tomorrow with another 11:11.